Swordmaster Ye Liang refused to support his sworn brother Long Baran when the latter rose up against the head of his clan, Shen Ye. Long killed not only Shen himself, but his entire family as well. Only Shen's daughter Fengyan survived. Ye Liang saves the girl from death and tries to get her out of the city, but Long sends the best assassins in the region after them, along with Wang Buwei, the senior disciple of Master Dan Yin, under whom Ye Liang himself once trained. Trends in Chinese online cinema rise and fall quite quickly, and the key is not to miss the moment, especially given that films can get stuck in post-production for 2 or 3 years, or suddenly attract unwanted attention from censors. In 2022, one of the biggest box office hits on streaming platforms was the old-school wuxia action film, Blind Sword. 2 years later, it received a sequel, and Wanted is essentially their clone, a film whose creators copied the successful duology so meticulously that a sense of déjà vu never leaves you for the entire runtime. Of course, Blind Sword was hardly a pioneer of its genre. So-called wuxia action films telling stories about the adventures of grim swordmasters have been made in China and Hong Kong for ages. They reached the height of their popularity in the 1970s, when the Shaw Brothers studio seriously took them on, and there have been later resurgences of interest as well. The hit Brotherhood of Blades, which eventually spawned sequels and spin-offs, is also a quintessential example of wuxia. Still, the obvious source of inspiration for the creators of Wanted was precisely the Blind Sword duology. From it, they borrowed almost unchanged the image of the protagonist, his goal of saving an innocent girl even at the cost of his own life, and the visual style, a yellowish-brown autumn on screen, lots of static close-ups punctuated from time to time by bursts of brutal sword fights. Blind Sword was directed by true action maestro Yang Bingjia, while Wanted was handled by Liu Chun, a director of a lower rank and more modest talent. It feels as though the filmmaker deliberately tried to keep his own personality as invisible as possible, focusing instead on copying the atmosphere and style of the successful predecessor. The result is similar, but the devil is in the details, and those details unmistakably reveal that what we're seeing is not an original, but merely a copy, so blatantly derivative that it doesn't even need a distinguishing label. Huang, who plays Ye Liang in Wanted, also appeared in Blind Sword, where he played the main villain. He's a charismatic actor, equally convincing in heroic and villainous roles, but Jie Miao in Blind Sword was ultimately more solid and powerful in the fight scenes. In Wanted, those action sequences, despite their abundance, fail to impress. The action choreographers seem intent on repeating, rather than inventing something new. And this is yet another sign by which, even years later, one will be able to tell without hesitation which film came first and which merely imitated a successful predecessor. Wanted is an okay film, and it will surely appeal to fans of this kind of cinema. But it's precisely because of films that are just okay that the wuxia trend has repeatedly faded in the past. Where creative exploration ends, the assembly line begins, and unique, one-of-a-kind projects are pushed aside by mass-produced fare that eventually replaces quality with quantity, and in the end, kills demand altogether.